I want to share with you some of the reasons why I chose not to have a relationship with my dad, because a lot of you are going through very similar situations with your family members, and I feel like it can cause a lot of distress and even guilt. I believe that it's completely possible to understand someone and not agree with their actions. Like, I don't agree with how my dad treated my mom and my brother and myself when he decided to leave the family. In fact, I don't respect a lot of the way he did things. However, I do understand that that was his capacity at that moment. You know, when a person is unhappy, it can feel so suffering. And I believe that my dad was deeply unhappy in his life, and he was trying to find happiness in any way that he can. And we're all human beings. We all have our journey to take. So I think it's completely possible to understand someone and not judge them, and also decide to love them from afar. It's not like, oh, if I don't see you means I'm upset at you. If I'm not upset at you, means I will sure see you lah. One of the main reasons why I don't meet my dad when we have coffee or sit down and talk, because we're so different in terms of what we value. Even our mindset when it comes to self-reflection or self-awareness or happiness is completely different. And time is so finite. Like, the most precious commodity that I have in my life is time. So when it comes to spending time with people, I spend time with people who I resonate with in terms of our values. That's really important to me. And I don't believe in obligation, which actually is so common in the Asian culture, because I feel like obligation brings about a lot of resentment. I know that if I were to meet up with my dad, have a relationship with him and have a conversation with him, and his views and my views and our perspectives are so different, and I feel like I'm obliged to see him even though I don't enjoy it, there may very well be resentment. And I don't want resentment in my life. And I don't think it's nice for my dad if I have resentment towards him as well. Love is not an obligation. Love is a gift. That's what I believe to be true, whether it's with your parents or with your kids. I don't feel like Zach would be obliged to respect me as he grows up. I have to earn that respect. Maybe my dad thinks I'm upset at him and that's why I'm not seeing him, but that's not the case. And in life, we cannot need people to not misunderstand us. Like, part of loving someone is wishing them well, wishing them joy, and if they choose to misunderstand our intentions, there's nothing really we can do about it. We don't need to be angry at the person. We don't need to explain ourselves so that they see that we're a good person. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that my dad has definitions of what a good daughter is, and maybe he feels like I'm not a good daughter, and I have to be okay with that. I still want the best for him regardless of what he may or may not think. And I think for me, that's peace. There's full acceptance of who my dad is as a person, no judgment on his decisions. I just know that I don't agree with his perspective, I don't agree with his actions. It's not what I value. We have differing values, differing perspectives, and that's all right. And I can choose not to have a relationship with him, but it doesn't mean that I want justice or revenge, you know? It's not a punishment. Nothing will give me more joy than to know that my dad is superbly fulfilled and happy in his life. And I think my mom would say the same. So I hope that answers some of your questions about my relationship with my dad. But more importantly, the reason why I'm sharing this is that I hope it helps you with your relationships as well. Be happy always.